What is it that makes spike casting so cool? In general, like, what is it that makes spike casting so absolutely cool? I think, no, I know. It's the flow. The flow and the flow state that you get in from it. I actually think that spike casters are flow state specialists. Or fly fishers in general. Flow state specialists. And I think that because what they do is they, with the help of focus and concentration, they vibrate themselves with the help of a fly rod into flow state configuration. Well, that's what I do. Vibrational casting. Controlled process. FlyQ is my new program. And in this program I talk about flow states, brain chemicals, psychology of casting. If you watch my video about the gun related to the fly cast, or shot related to the fly cast, that's how thinking in the series starts, because I think fly fishers have lost a lot because they don't behave very much hunterly anymore, and a lot of the casting is super uncontrolled that I see, and not nice to watch. That is because casters have casting panic, a phenomenon that I have discovered, and I can scientifically prove that, or I can show it to you right here, that something like shot anticipation or bracing for recoil happens in fly casting too. And that is the phenomenon of chuck and duck. In case you don't know that, or you haven't seen it, chuck and duck happens when a caster has a fairly heavy fly or something on, and he makes a back cast and is afraid of the forward cast, and makes the forward cast then like this. Chuck and duck, and usually chuck and duck and fuck it up is happening then too. Because another thing happens that is described by Mel Krieger, by the way, called the last cast syndrome. And the last cast syndrome happens because it all gets out of control in the very last moment. And the goal of good fly casting is to keep it controlled at all times. I'm fishing a full intermediate line with my new technique, formerly known as bunker screen, now called cool casting. The cool cast is so cool that I learned so much from it that I had to change the fly fishers, my friends. I don't know if you knew that already. Probably not. I have found out are the best problem solvers in the world. And why would fly casters be, or fly fishers be, the best problem solvers on the planet? I'll tell you why. Make everything unnecessarily complicated, and then they find a solution for it and get on with it. And that is how you solve problems. There is a science about control, and that science is called the science of control theory. And for you, I have looked into that science and I made that accessible for the fly fisher. And that science unfortunately also says a lot of, proves a lot of the doctrine in fly casting wrong. It just does. And I'm surprised. That's why I say questions that should have been asked 40 years ago. What do you think is the end game in fly fishing? Where do you want to be with your fly fishing? Flow states. You want to be in flow state. Flow state is the end game of fly fishing, and in my opinion, the end game itself. And I don't know, you probably have been there already in that flow state. That's that state when you're fishing, when you're totally focused, when you're fully in, and when the casting has no mistakes. Flow state is when the casting is pristine. Because they don't even happen. I don't know if you noticed that too. When you're in flow state, there are no mistakes. When you're in flow state, you're at peak performance. When you're in flow state, you're at your happiest. Your dopamine, your chemicals in your brain. Do a bit of research. Stephen Kotler, flow state, the science of flow. Michael Csikszentmihalyi from Hungary founded this flow psychology in 1975. This man, look him up on YouTube too. He has flow diagrams and he has defined what makes the flow occur, these flow states. And these flow states occur in moments of extreme concentration and in moments of borderline limit risk, okay? Like big wave surfers, for example, they have the flow too. They have to have it or they might die. And these flow states are also used by the military to train snipers. Now, I don't know if you watched my video about watch this before you make your next cast. That says, or that tells you a bit about the psychology of how our brain works when it's shooting and also when it's casting, because I believe, and the fly fisher hasn't learned that yet, that the fly fishing mind is in panic all the time because it treats a cast like an accident or like an attack, and that's why it rushes you through that cast all the time. And fly fishing hasn't learned that yet. And all the instructors always tell you, yeah, it all comes from the mind. Here, come on, I show you how it's done. Let's go. Here, what you have to do is you have to throw a tight loop. Here, look, this is how it's done. No problem. You have to develop a feeling for this. And you stand there and you think, okay, and you go and you practice, and nobody tells you how you develop a feeling for that. And I have found a way how you develop a feeling for this very, very quick. And that feeling is connected with this. I have no words for it yet, like, because this is all brand new knowledge. Yeah?